day, beautiful people. I am on this cold, wintry day, very grateful for my jacket and my home, and very excited to introduce you to Jennifer. Jennifer and I used to dance together when I lived in Cape Town, and she makes these amazing feather goodies, earrings and brooches and neck pieces and head pieces, and she's just fabulous. So obviously, with the topic or the theme of the singles party being birds of a feather, I have been praying for collaborators and preferred partners, and Jennifer is our preferred partner with regards to anything feather. So I wanted to introduce you to Jennifer. And do I call you Jenny or Jennifer? I know you as Jennifer. What do you prefer?
Jennifer initially, but Jen to my friends, that's easier.
Amazing. Well, Jen, thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
I'm doing so well, and we were actually having a fabulous few sunny days in Cape Town, but rain is coming from tomorrow, so then it's going to be over. But it's nice and warm here at the moment.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So, how and what got you involved with feathers?
Okay, I lived and worked out of the country for a number of years, and I had a German friend in Amsterdam. I was based in Amsterdam, and she had a vintage and antique shop in Berlin, and she was a bit older than me, and when she closed her shop down, she gave away a lot of things to friends, and she arrived one day with this big box of vintage feathers, beautiful things. I mean, 100 years old, some of the things you could see by the work, by the labels. And I was very much in two minds because I'm vegetarian, and I thought, I can't work with these feathers. Oh, those birds. And I just left them in the box for a while. And then I was doing a lot of costume work at that point, theater costumes. And I had to make the Four Elements costumes. And I did this design for Wind with this big headpiece with feathers and a bra with feathers. And I thought, okay, now's the moment. I'm going to pull out these vintage feathers and start working with them. And it was the most incredible material to work with. The color, I mean, it's natural, it's organic. The birds, we look at them every day, but we don't see the feathers, because obviously a bird is layers and layers of feathers. And then suddenly having these single feathers, these little objects of perfection and beauty. And I started collecting feathers. I had my own chickens and rooster in Amsterdam. I lived in a small village outside of Amsterdam. And I started collecting the feathers. And they were just so beautiful, so magnificent. My rooster was just stunning. And I got into working with feathers through that. Now, I grew up on a farm in KwaZulu-Natal, so I have always had a very close bond to birds and to animals and the space, the beauty. But working with the feathers, it gave me the opportunity to show that beauty to more people. And once they see the beauty of a feather, which itself is perfect, and if you make I was making these little objects of wearable art, hair clips, earrings, brooches, necklaces, wrist corsages, fascinators. So it's just an opportunity to see how beautiful nature actually is when you see it made up into something else, which is also nice to wear or looks good. And the colors, perfection, the patterns, it's just incredible. So I find feathers amazingly inspiring, and I collect my feathers for the last few years at the Hout Bay World of Birds, which is a bird rescue, rehabilitation and release sanctuary. So they have obviously all kinds of birds native to South Africa, hardy-daws, guinea fowl, but also lots of exotic birds, the parrots, the parakeets, a lot of owls, and the feathers are just incredible. There's a golden pheasant there who I've just fallen in love with. He's given me for a couple of years running such beautiful feathers, and I will show, when I show my product, some of the golden pheasants and tell which each one is. So that's how I got into feathers.
Yeah. So, I mean, I love the organic nature of how it sounds like feathers found you. It feels like feathers chose you, and so you get
Well,
to.
in a way, they kind of did. I guess they kind of did. And I feed the birds here, and they just doves and rock pigeons, and sometimes we have some a couple of other ones. But I feed these birds because I can't feed the Hout Bay birds. But I love birds. It's so nice to have them around. So by feeding them, you get them around. My cats have learned not to go after the feathers that I'm working with or the birds. So I give them feathers to play with when I'm busy, and they leave the rest alone, which is great.
And I also love that you collect your feathers organically. So people know, like when I say you collect your feathers organically, you go into the cages and you collect the feathers that have fallen down at the World of Birds, which is stunning.
What happens is the birds molt every year after they have bred, after they've laid eggs, had the babies have got bigger, they molt and they grow new feathers again. And that's when I collect them. So there's a lot flying around, especially underneath the trees or the places that they roost. I collect them all. I wash them, I sort them first, I cut off the quills because the quills are very hard, they're stiff, and I work with the soft part of the feather, mostly the curved body feathers, not so much the wing feathers because they are obviously stronger to fly stiffer quills. I wash them, I dry them, I preen them, and that means individually getting water out of each feather like this and getting them back into shape. And once they're dried, I freeze them for 72 hours, which means there's no chance of any parasites, any lice, anything bad, without using chemicals, just through sun drying and then freezing. So
that's incredible, Jane. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So
it's a process. It's such a painstaking process, but they are little objects of beauty after the natural beauty of the feathers themselves, and then the whole process of cleaning them, curing them, and working with them.
Amazing. Well, why I wanted to connect with you is that I wanted to invite people that have bought tickets and who are planning to buy tickets to get hold of you, and you're going to send me a video of the different pieces that you've got.
Yes, and contact her. Yes.
See my systems. Okay, I'll have to edit this section.
Okay.
So I wanted to introduce people to you. I wanted them to see how passionate you are about feathers and how organically they're what's the word, farmed or gotten, and the deep care that goes into cleaning them and to ensure that they're of the highest hygiene order, and then your love of creating these pieces that are unique. So I wanted people to connect with you. I wanted to introduce you to them, and I'll put a link to your
My Instagram.
Your Instagram. We'll put a link to your Instagram at the bottom of this video, and then people can look at your the pictures you have online, but they can also get hold of you and have a discussion around. I know that for me, we're looking at you maybe sewing a piece for me, like the bodice. I've got some different ideas. So you are a one-man show. So if anybody wants anything specifically
I'm looking forward to doing that.
If anybody wants something specifically designed, then they need to jump on board quickly, and so that they can book your time to be able to do that. But if they'd like to buy a piece that you've already made, that is possible, and you do post to anywhere in the country, and they're beautifully packaged and beautifully in themselves, and then bubble wrapped and well looked after for the travel journey. And the postage can take up to 200 rand for postage, 100 rand to 200 rand for postage. But I mean, I love your pieces that you got. I'm looking forward to. I'll take. Jane's going to send me a video of some of the art pieces that you've got that I'll edit into the back of this video, and then people can get hold of you directly for any orders.
That would be fabulous. And I'm so looking forward to being part of this whole project. You know, we danced together for a short space of time. We didn't know each other that well, but there was definitely a connection between us. And it was such a nice surprise when I got that Facebook message from you, must be almost a month ago now, inviting me to be part of this. And I'm really looking forward to it. And it sounds fabulous. I think it's going to be such a great event. So
thank you, Jen. Thank you. Thank you. It's so beautiful when there's that saying that when somebody gives something from their heart, what you give, you will receive. And you very kindly gave me a set of beautiful earrings, and I moved to Joburg, what's it now, 5-6 years ago, and you gave them to me just before I left. And all these years I've wondered, now how can I pay that back? Your kindness was so unexpected. So when this whole event came to my mind, and then it was like birds of a feather, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to need someone to do feather work. And I was like, Jenny Kasuga. So I'm very grateful to pass people on to you and to encourage them to connect with you with any of their feather needs that they might have, earrings or brooches or neck pieces or fascinators. Really anything, they can contact you and see what you've got in stock, and then also if you want something specific. And that's for men and for women. They're bow ties, they're all sorts of different things.
Also lapel corsages for men. I've done a little bit of wedding work, so the bride party, so these lapel corsages for men, and the bow ties all for women. The bow ties with a suit for women, it looks stunning as well. So
amazing. Yeah. Jen, thank you, my sweetheart. I wish you a beautiful day.
Yes, I'm going to do the video and let you see what I have.
Fantastic. And thank you for letting me be your first Zoom interview. I feel very honored.
Here I'm showing you 4 sets of organza collar and cuffs with feather decorations. So loose collars and arm wrist cuffs, which look just fabulous with anything from jeans to a beautiful black dress or a colored dress in the same tones. So let me go in a little bit closer. This is the blue one, olive green, amethyst blue. These are photos of some of the fascinators that I was making in Amsterdam. Models Fahima on the left, Paula in the middle, and Satna on the right up at the top. 3 of the bow ties. The one at the top is golden pheasant and brown peacock. The PN has beautiful brown feathers, which I used as the backing. The one on the left is a cockatoo with scarlet ibis, and the one on the right is parrot with peacock, just a few. The one right in the middle is the peacock.